what big holiday rather, there are lots of holidays, is in the month of November? I'm gonna answer. So we have Thanksgiving coming up, right? And Thanksgiving, but also the entire month of November is known as Native Heritage Month, right? So Three Sisters refers to three kinds of veggies. It refers to corn, beans, and squash. And Native Americans usually plant these three together because they think they're like three sisters who are always seen together. They love each other. They grow well together. And so we wanted to do a recipe that was based on that. So as usual, if you've been here before, you know we do an ingredients check. So an organized chef is a good chef. And then those who have not been here before, just let you know how the evening will go. We'll talk about our ingredients. We'll make sure we all have them ready to go. Once we've confirmed we all have our ingredients and all our equipment, then we'll start cooking. We'll cook together. We'll answer questions. I'll wait on you to make sure you're, where we need to be. And then towards the end, I'm gonna ask folks to have a nice bowl or plate ready so we can serve and share that meal and take a great picture, or you can help with your family or whoever you're with right now. How does that sound for the evening? Thumbs up if that sounds good to you. All right. So shall we start by checking our recipes, our ingredients? All right, let's go. So the first thing we need to have prepped ready is our chopped onions. So white onions or yellow onions, chopped or diced rather, and that also with garlic. So that's nicely done. Do folks have that? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Looking good. I'm seeing some folks showing. Awesome, thank you. The second item you should have ready is your garlic. And my garlic is in here already, but you should have 2 or so cloves of garlic minced. And minced refers to like having them really tiny pieces, because not everyone loves garlic, but it makes for really amazing tasting food. So you're gonna make sure you have your garlic like really, really minced out. Thumbs up. All right, so third, you wanna have a small green bell pepper. Now, to be honest, I have a red one that's in my fridge. It could be red, it could be yellow, it could be green. I have a red bell pepper. So what I did was to take that, cut it down the middle, remove the seeds, and dice them. Do we have that? If I'm going too fast, please let us know. Okay, because I'm not seeing you on my screen here. I'm just gonna make sure that folks are seeing. And then the fourth thing is you want to have a squash, right? Oh, I need to grab my squash. So my squash looks like this. It's a pumpkin, it's a gourd, a calabaza, I think, in Spanish. Correct me if I'm incorrect. But you want to have it peeled and cut finely. So finely means, in this case, bite-sized pieces. So I could bite into this. So not too chunky. I'm going to grab a raw one so you see what it looks like.
Okay. I only see her pan. Is that what we're supposed to see?
Pardon me?
I only see your pan. Is that what we're supposed to see? Just the pan?
I'm here waving. Can you see me as well? I'm waving on my.
Yeah, I only see the pan.
Yeah, you should be able to see it. Maybe just switch your view there on your Zoom. Good to go, Tamika.
Waving until you can see me.
I see a pan, that's it.
If you're on a phone, you can just move the screen to see other views.
I'm on a Chromebook.
Okay.
Oh, you have 2 views, right? Okay, I'll try to find the other view.
Yeah, so I'm holding a pumpkin in one, and there is one of my pan where my hand is right now.
I see your hand.
Maybe you can also message Jay or someone just to help that. We have 2 going.
I can try to help.
I see the other one. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, great. Okay. So I'm holding up a butternut squash. This is my favorite squash. What did you guys have in your box this week? What kind of squash did you have? A round one, a green one, an orange one? What color was it? What size was it?
Look just like that.
Yeah? Okay. So this is a butternut squash. It is very delicious for soups. It's very creamy, hence the name buttery, right? It's really good when you bake it. It's also good for cakes. It's good for so many things. So I peeled the squash. I washed it, peeled it, and I diced it up. Pretty small, so you can be cooked quickly. You can have bite-sized pieces. Does everyone have that? Thumbs up. Great, perfect.
Is that okay?
That looks good to me, yeah. Bite-sized pieces. Looks great. All right, we're gonna move on. So you should have your black beans. So black beans, you could have dried black beans that you cook, but that takes a long time. So a can of black beans, rinsed and drained, and I have both my corn and black beans in the same container. So a can is usually a 16-ounce can, and you drain that in a strainer or a colander, and you do a quick rinse with some cold water, and then it's ready to go. So I have my black beans ready. I also have my corn. Now, this time of year in New England, if that's where you are, there's lots of corn, right? You could have bought corn on the cob, boiled it, and then cut it off. Or I use canned corn. It's in my pantry. It's pretty easy. It's available. It's ready to go as well. So drained and ready to go. All right, we're looking good, right? So what we have to do is some cumin. Cumin is one of my favorite spices. It definitely is very aromatic. It will add a tad bit of flavor. It's not spicy at all, but it adds really good flavor to this dish. It is really good with black beans in general, if you make a black bean soup or anything. My final two items is my chopped cilantro. So cilantro is a leafy herb. So I have my chopped cilantro, about a tablespoon. I also need to have salt and pepper. So always have your salt and pepper ready, and then a tad bit of oil. You'll also need some stock or just some plain water. I have that ready. All right, how's my ingredient check? Sounds good? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Now, the last bit, if there's anyone who's using the optional items like turkey meat or grounded beef, can you let Gay know in the chat so we can see how many folks are doing that? We're gonna do the vegetarian option, the no meat option, just because it's easier to show on camera. But if you are using meat, let me know. All right, are you ready to go? All right, chefs, let's dive in. So you're gonna have a large, well, a medium-sized skillet, a pan on your stove top. You're looking for a medium heat. So if your stove goes from like 1 to 10, I'd say a 5 or 6 is where you wanna go. If you have flame, I'm not looking for the widest flame. I'm not looking for the tiniest flame. I'm looking for the medium size. Make sense? So make sure you get your pan on medium. So medium to medium. I'm trying to read who hamburger ready to add. Okay, we have one hamburger. Okay, we'll talk about that. All right, so we have our pan on medium. I'm gonna have folks grab their oil, cooking oil. Any kind of cooking oil is fine. I'd say the only one to avoid here is like coconut oil, maybe, just because it burns really quickly. It might have some toasty, nutty flavor, and you're not looking for that right now. You ready? So because we have one person doing hamburger, I'm gonna ask that person to put a tablespoon, well, everyone put a tablespoon of oil in their pan. So if you've been doing this for a long time, you can kind of like eyeball it. So yeah, 1 tablespoon. I probably use 2 because I have a bigger pan.
Somebody's saying they're not ready, and I have a couple questions, please.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, quickly. My daughter and I do not like beans. Is that like the main ingredient? Like, would that not taste good without them?
It will taste fine when we combine it, but we were trying to show the 3 ingredients of corn, bean, and squash. They're called the Three Sisters together. It's very personal. So if that doesn't work for you, I say pull the beans off. Is it that you don't like any beans at all, or you don't like black beans?
Pretty much don't like any beans, but...
Okay. Have you tried it recently? Have you tried it this way?
No, I think I'm just gonna try it.
Oh my God, that's the best sentence I've heard all day.
Also, I have fresh corn, but I wasn't sure how to get the corn off of the cob. I've never done that.
Okay.
But I have sweet, low sodium canned corn. Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Mine was sweet as well. I say just open that can, drain the liquid, and you're good to go.
Okay, and one last question.
Another day, you could use the fresh one.
Can you see? Yeah, but how do I get the corn off? Real quick, this is good for future reference too. Just a
You
knife?
stand the corn up like this, so flat side down. And if you're pretty snippy with a knife, you just cut slowly along to get the pieces off and keep doing that over and
I'm too nervous.
over. Okay. We can
Is
talk
that-
next time about it.
Can you see the onions?
Yes, your onions are great.
Is that enough, you think?
It's perfect. I think we can about a cup or so.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course. So I'm gonna move on with the folks. So your oil should be heated at this point, and maybe turn your flame down a little bit if you think your oil has started to smoke. So when oil goes in, it's cold, and by cold I mean it's this time of year. It moves pretty slowly. As it warms up, it starts to move more rapidly. It's like moves in your pan. It's almost like it's dancing. And if it goes too long, it starts to smoke. You don't want to have smoke in oil, right? So I'd say turn your heat down a tad bit. If your heat is ready to go, I'd say grab your onions and garlic, and that goes into your pan. Now be careful, I'd say low and slow. If you toss things in, then you risk burning yourself. I'd say low and slow. That might be a little scary for you, but the lower you go, the less likely you are to have splashing. If you just toss the onions in and run away, oh, that might be scary, right? So low and slow, all the way in. I'm gonna be moving my onions around, so I'm not looking to brown my onions. These are yellow or white onions. I want them to go from being super white and thick to being softened. And the more I move them, the more you agitate them, right? You're moving them around, they're dancing together, the less likely they are to burn. It should smell pretty delicious. How are folks doing? You're looking to brown your onions, ideally for just about a minute or so. And so again, if you've taken a class with me before, or if you're new, when we're cooking, we're engaging all our senses, right? I'm hearing the sizzling. I'm smelling the onions, going from like a raw onion smell to like a more delicious onion smell. So it smells different. It starts to caramelize a little bit. But also sights, I'm seeing the difference. I'm smelling the difference and hearing the difference. I haven't tasted it yet. But I can also even just touch it and know it's a little bit softened. I say don't touch it. I can touch it because I'm okay with it being hot. But you're engaging all five senses. You're looking, you're listening, you're smelling, and you'll taste. And you can also touch. Your onions should be good to go. And so once your onions are good to go, we're gonna go ahead and add our tomato paste.
Tamika, sorry, another thing. We did not get tomato paste in our box. What can we? I have tomato sauce.
So that's exactly what I have. So I have canned tomatoes. So you're just looking for a tomato base of some sort.
This is 5 cheese Bertolli tomato sauce. I don't know if that'll. Okay.
Go with that. And
Cool.
once tomato sauce goes in, folks, or tomato paste, it's gonna go pretty rapidly because all that sweetness in the tomatoes is gonna start popping. So I'll put my onion, my peppers in.
Don't put
My peppers.
the.
If I'm going too
We
fast,
put-
please let me know. Or
You just got the tomatoes.
So we got fresh tomatoes. Can we
Okay.
just throw that in instead of the sauce or paste?
So you can squish those. If you can like
Push them down?
up and squish them.
No
You can
problem.
pause here to make sure that each person is ready for this. So if you have fresh tomatoes, and I could probably just grab some to show you, you can use the back of a knife and squish them. Or you can cut them up really small and squish. You want some of that juice to come out, right? And so cooking sometimes about adapting things, right? You don't have exactly what you need, but you have a tomato of some sort. So looking through to see what the tomatoes look like. If you have tiny ones, I'd say cut them up and then squish them. If they're bigger ones, you're just looking for mashed out tomatoes. How about that? Let's not call it sauce. Let's not call it paste. Let's call it mashed out tomatoes. Make sense? I'm gonna take my ingredients off my stovetop for a minute just to wait for families to do the tomatoes. Okay, I see excellent transferring of mashed tomatoes just now. And so give us a thumbs up when you put your tomatoes in.
Look, you went in the computer.
Okay, I see some thumbs up, thank you.
Do we put the tomatoes in right now or later?
Yes, if you have your onions sauteed, I say maybe lower your flame since we're gonna be waiting on folks. If you can see my pan, I have in here my tomatoes, they haven't browned, so we're not trying to get them like browned, they're softened. I have my peppers. My peppers are red, but yours probably would be green or yellow. And then I have my tomato sauce, right? Or my mashed up tomato.
Oh, we lost everything.
We can hear you.
Oh, no, this,
So if folks have put their tomatoes in, I'm gonna say lower your flame to about a 1 or 2, just so we're not burning our ingredients while we wait on our friends. It's a team effort, okay? I see some great stirring skills happening here. So many pros in this space. I see tomatoes going in. I love the team effort of the families. All right, thumbs up if your tomatoes are in. Excellent, okay. Does anyone need more time? No, all right, sweet. Again, I love it. So I turn my flame up again to around a 5 or 6.
Excuse me.
Yes,
Can we have a little bit,
like a minute.
like a minute?
okay.
We're just
Are
putting the
you putting your
onions in.
tomatoes in?
No, we haven't even done the tomato. We got onions and garlic ready to go. That's
Okay,
okay. You could go. Thank you.
okay, great, thanks. All right, so if you put your, if you're still working your tomatoes, that's completely fine. Now the squash is gonna go in. Now this is super important, right? We didn't cook the squash, right? I could bite into this right now. It's not quite popular for folks to have squash, but it's pretty much in a similar family to carrots. We're not gonna cook these so they're like really soft. We're looking for a nice crunch, but that's why it's super important to have bite-sized pieces. So if you have more than say 1.5 inches or 2, I say gonna cut those a little bit smaller. Because if you have big chunky pieces, whoa, you may not be happy with me. So you're looking for smaller bite-sized pieces. They're gonna be cooked, as Italians would say, almost al dente, right? So they're cooked. They're not softened or fully like soft or mushy. You could have boiled these, but I find when you boil, you lose lots of those really rich nutrients in that liquid because you're not drinking the liquid, right? This is a very nutrient dense dish. So I'm gonna have folks, once you have bite-sized pieces, to go ahead and put your squash in. Now we haven't seasoned this yet, right? So at this stage, I'm gonna have you toss to try and get all that tomato liquid, tomato juice. I'm actually gonna put some more because my pan's a little dry. And you're gonna be stirring to make sure that all that onion mixture and all of the pepper and the garlic, that each piece of squash gets a little bit of that action going.
Do we put in the peppers?
Yeah, so you should have, just to recap, you should have at this stage in your pan, you should have your onions and garlic sauteed in oil. Then we did our peppers, if you had red or green or yellow, sauteed again for a minute or so. And then your tomato paste or your squished tomato, whatever tomato products you have, paste, sauce, Grab some ragu if that's what you have too, right? You just need a tomato thin. That goes in and we're gonna stir fry, we're gonna saute those together. And then your squash goes in.
Not the squash.
Once your squash goes in, we're gonna season this, right? So we're gonna take a little salt and pepper. I am going by eyeball, but I like to say about a half a teaspoon or so would be sufficient here. Because to be fair, if you use tomato paste, that should have some sodium or some salt. But taste is very personal. So you're gonna taste this afterwards. And then you're gonna put your cumin in. So you should have had ground cumin in your box, correct? I'm gonna read how much the recipe says, but I just tossed some in there. You're looking for a 1 1/4 teaspoons. I see 1.5, give or take. You're gonna saute and make sure that gets all stirred over. So in a good place for those who are probably a little bit behind, you can catch up. You're gonna take your stock or your water. It goes in to your mixture. And then you're gonna cover just for a few. If you're following the recipe, I'm not sure I have this step there. And sometimes I make adjustments. So I'm gonna grab my pan cover all the way over here. I'm gonna cover this down for like for a few minutes. I can check in if there are any questions. I love seeing all the teamwork happening.
I've got a question.
Go for it. I hope I have an answer.
When do you put the black beans?
So that's an excellent question. Can you tell me your name, please?
Genji?
Okay, Benji. That's a great question. So the black beans and the corn, because they were in a can, they were already cooked. So they go in last. So at this stage, all your ingredients, except for 3 things, should be in. You should have your beans. Cooked. It's cooked, right? It was cooked in a can. Your corn and your cilantro, which is a green stuff.
Okay.
Everything else should be in your pan at this point.
Wait. Do we have the cilantro already?
We have not.
Okay.
So going by color, the yellow stuff, the black or dark brown stuff, and the green stuff should be left.
So, everything right now should be added into the pan.
Everything except for the black beans, the corn, and the cilantro. So just to recap, we sauteed our onions and garlic together in some oil. And by saute, we're softening them up. They went from being chunky and white to being softer, lighter color. They smelled really good. Once we sauteed that, we put our peppers in. So if you had a green pepper, I had a red pepper, and I sauteed that again to soften it up. Once I had those together, I went ahead and put my tomato sauce. If you didn't have tomato sauce, yes. So do we put bell peppers in? Yes.
Question, can we add our own spices?
You absolutely could. Could you probably tell us what you're thinking?
Well, me and my mom added garlic powder, onion powder, and pepper.
Okay, that sounds good. So you put more garlic and more onion, because we had both those in the raw form. That's a great idea. Again, taste is so personal. If you wanted to add some more spices, you definitely do that. I probably wouldn't add curry to this or soy sauce, but definitely onions and garlic sounds like a good idea. And pepper. Great.
Another question.
Yeah.
So our corn is fresh corn. So can I put it right now or later?
Oh, yeah, like where do you put the beans?
If you had fresh sweet corn, again, I just like fresh vegetables. I've bitten into that. I say you're gonna put yours to cook for a little bit longer than the rest of us because ours was in the can. So after we've added them later on, maybe keep your flame on for another extra minute or two, just to make sure the corn cooks properly. But great observation. You saw a difference in your recipe or in your ingredients, and so you offered an adjustment.
Excuse
So I
me.
know. Did I hear a question?
So do we add bell peppers?
Yes, I'm going to recap one more time. Great questions. Garlic and onions sauteed. Then bell peppers go in third. Once bell peppers and onions and garlic are sauteed, we're going to add our tomato sauce, tomato paste, or any kind of tomato thing that you have. Once
Excuse me.
those go in together for a minute or three or so, we're going
I
to
added tomato paste before the peppers. Oh no,
That's okay. It's okay.
this is what it looks like.
That's completely okay. The biggest thing here is to get all those ingredients cooked together and then to season them with cumin, your salt, and some pepper. I'm gonna add some pepper now.
We're not a big fan of green peppers either, but that's one. What are the Three Sisters? Let's put it that way.
The Three Sisters are peppers. So bell peppers in general, corn, and squash. But this time it will be a winter squash. There are summer squashes or summer squash. This time of year, a butternut squash, a kabocha. You know, some of the ones that you guys use for fall decor, they're very edible. They can be cooked.
Excuse me.
But those, to your question, I'll make sure that nothing's burnt.
Yeah.
Those who
When
have
do
their
we put in the beans? When do we put in the beans?
we're about to do that right now.
All right.
So for those who have their squash and their tomatoes on, if you open your pan, you'll notice that your squash went from being super chunky and thick to having softened up. It should be brighter in color. And I'm using my spatula here to cut into my squash, and you can see it's cooked. Make sense? So,
We should have it covered.
pardon me?
Should it be covered?
Yeah, so once I put it in, I covered it for about 2 or 3 minutes. I put my stock in or water, and then that went in and it's covered for about 2 or 3 minutes. That steam kind of softens it up really quickly.
Well, okay, when did the water supposed to go in? I don't see that.
Right after the squash went in.
Okay, I didn't do this well, okay. Let's just-
No pressure. I saw someone use paprika. Yummy. Paprika gives a nice smoky flavor. I don't want folks to have their squash going for too long. If it's cooked, it's ready to go to add your other ingredients. So your corn and your beans can go right in. I reduce my flame at this point if you have a flame or your stove to probably a 3 or 4. And then I'm going to use a wooden spoon or a regular spoon and combine. It's almost like Skittles, right? Or confetti, like super colorful. If you had green in here, it should be super colorful. It's going to gently, turn them over until they're like fully incorporated. Are folks there? I see tasting going on. So this is, again, you're gonna re-season, right? So I'm gonna grab a fork. I'm gonna go ahead and go in. I'm gonna try and get one of each thing. So I have some corn, some squash, some onions, some beans on my spoon, and I'm gonna try it. Oh, I have to cool it first. So it's cooked all the way through, it's seasoned. I like a little bit more pepper, so I'm gonna add some more pepper. This is a stage, if you like paprika or anything else, you could add that.
Excuse me.
Sure.
Sorry. Is this what the onions and garlic is supposed
And the
to look like?
sauce.
And the sauce?
Yep, so you can go ahead and put your squash in with that. That looks great.
Okay.
And the
Really good softening there. I can see your onions are like translucent. They're almost like clear. Perfect. At this
Yeah,
stage, you
okay.
taste. I'm gonna turn my flame off because I'm pretty much done. I've tasted, I've adjusted my seasoning, and then cilantro goes in. Now you like to put your herbs in at the last minute because they're super fresh and they'll also add some more flavor to your dish, but you're not trying to cook them too much.
How about the
Excuse
lemon?
Yes. I heard a question. Go for it.
Yeah, my question was, can we add extra ingredients like rice?
So I probably would, that's a good question. I probably want to put the rice into this pan. I'd have this with rice. And I think you probably saw my dinner for tonight because I have rice ready to go, right? I would have this with tortilla shells. I'd have this with some rice. I'd have with some quinoa. I'd have this by itself. So you can decide how you want to have it. Maybe you saw me doing this earlier today, but I'm gonna have this with rice. I'm gonna put a bowl of rice together. If folks have more questions, I'm just gonna go ahead and plate this, but you can let me know if you have more questions. Don't feel rushed. We still have some time together. I just wanna show you what it looks like, the final product. So this would be a nice like bowl dish. So everything that goes in together.
When are we gonna put the lime in? Do you have to wait?
So the lime, the hamburger meat, and I completely forgot Jack with the hamburger meat. Uh-oh. Those are optional items. So you could have just put the lime on top right now to add some more flavor. You could have added jalapenos. And Gabe, did we forget Jack? I completely did. Is it Jack who had hamburger meat?
Jack had hamburger meat, but I did tell him at the beginning, hopefully, if you guys read the chat, I did mention that that would be the very last thing. It would get added at the end. So you might elaborate on that for Jack if you'd like to.
Jack, where are you? If Jack can chime in to let us know how they're doing.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Oh, great. Thank you. You're a pro, huh?
Did it work out okay?
It looks that way. I heard, okay, thanks. Okay, thanks for the thumbs up. So I am gonna go ahead, this is my dinner, right? I just have a bowl of rice. I have my beans and my squash and my corn on top. I say turn your flame off if you're all set. And I also just kind of pull my pan off the flame because there's residual heat. And for those who are still working, let me know where you are. Don't feel rushed. Everybody's process is a little bit different. Everybody's stovetop is different. Ingredients are different. So are most folks almost there?
So our stove is a little slow, so we're
Yeah.
just waiting on the squash to soften up a little bit, and
Okay,
then we'll add the other ingredients, but we're not far off.
thank you so much. And I love that you know your stove, right? I see someone doing lime on top. So again, citric acid or anything on the citric side, it could be a good alternative for salt. It adds a punch of flavor. So that's an option for this, right? I see somebody, oh my God, who's that? Is it Deli? Hope I haven't butchered your name, but I see someone adding some lime on top of theirs. Okay, who
I'm
else?
all finished because I have to leave.
You want to show her? Hold on. Can she say it?
And anybody who's behind, if you look at the chat, I tried to put the instructions in the chat. So you can always go back in the chat. And if you have any questions, hopefully they're answered there.
Oh, Jack. I see Jack presented their meal.
Excuse
Do you
me,
like
I got
it?
a question.
Again, just because you had the hamburger meat versus ours, just so we see what it looks like.
Excuse
And
me,
Val,
I got a
thank you for the
question.
question, Val.
Excuse me, I got a question about the lime.
Go for it.
Do you like squeeze it or cut it and squeeze it?
You can do lime wedges, so each person can get a wedge of lime. I can grab a lemon and show you what that looks like. Give me a second to grab a lemon because I don't have a lime, right? So lime, pretty much similar shape, right? Oh, I wish I had a knife. I don't. I'm gonna grab one. So you're pretty much gonna grab your lemon or your lime, and then I cut the edges off, the top and the bottom. Right? And then, can you see me?
Yep.
Okay. Again, it's very personal. You could do slices. You could do beautiful slices and offer that to each person. You could cut your slices in two and go right on top of your, kind of fancy, huh? Not really. All right. Or you could go do corners. So a whole goes into a half goes into a corner, and then you can offer each person like a wedge, and then they squeeze it on top. So you have lots of options. You can offer a wedge on top, and then that's so personal, it goes on top, right? So slices or wedge, your preference.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any more questions? You guys have such excellent questions. Thank you. I saw lots of tasting, and I love to see folks tasting because it means you're using your senses, you're listening, you're smelling, you're tasting to make sure you adjust it. Ingredients on recipes are really a guide. It's a guide or a blueprint or a map of how to get to somewhere, but each person's palate is a little bit different. So you may like more spice, you may like less spice, and so you can adjust for yourself or for your family. And I'm seeing that happening tonight, so thank you. All right, can we present our dishes? So if you're ready and prepped and you have a bowl or a plate nearby, just go ahead and put something on the plate so we can see what people have. I know some folks have to go, so thank you. If you're not done, don't feel rushed. We're still here. But we love to see those final dishes. You may be on your phone now for this call, but if you're finished, you can take a quick picture. I think Alec and team would like to see pictures of what you've done.
We would love to see some pictures of these delicious looking dishes.
And what I love to watch is a team effort. I see folks tag teaming.
Cam, I just sent you some pictures that I got from the kids.
Ooh, that looks yummy. Thank you, Joanne, right? Great. That's a great bowl you've made.
We'll show it. We're done. Show your bowl.
And it could be had on its own. It's a whole dish because the squash is a real good source of protein, but it's also some carbs, right? So you have your beans. If you're plant-based or vegetarian or vegan or any version, then you had a whole meal here. If you want to like fortify it some more, then rice or taco shells or quinoa. Even some nachos could scoop it up. And so if you celebrate Thanksgiving and that's something you do this month, maybe you offer, can I make a side? Can I make a native, well, a traditionally Native American like crop? You explain the Three Sisters, right? And you have the information in your recipe. So maybe you offer a side and maybe you offer this information to your family or to your friends.
It's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. We're really enjoying it.
Good, good. You guys are great.
First of all,
Thank
you don't.
you.
I'm eating it.
Okay.
She's eating it. Yay.
Oh, I am sorry. This squash is like still really hard. Any ideas what I can do to hurry it up to get it
Did you
soft?
add your stock or your water and cover it on the?
No, I did not yet.
Yeah, so it's just
Heat some water up in the microwave. How much water?
a quarter cup should be sufficient. So just enough to line the pan. You're not looking for soupy or covered, just enough to line the bottom of your pan. And then when you close that pan, the steam, the water creates steam, and that steam is what cooks that squash. So you're not looking to boil your squash, right? You're looking to steam it. So the space between that water and the pan creates steam and just softens it up. Like think a hot shower. It's like a hot shower.
So I just have like regular water. I don't have any stock from anything.
Regular water is perfect water.
Okay, I'm gonna heat it up in the microwave too to speed up the process.
This is
Ooh,
mine.
great plate. I don't know. I think I don't like competitions too much, but I feel like some folks deserve something for the amazing plating they're doing. That looks
Today
really
I'm gonna eat this with salmon.
Oh, yum. That sounds good.
yeah.
They
Alright.
all look so beautiful.
Still working.
What does everybody think? Does it taste good?
I see families cheering together. Oh my god, I'm gonna start eating.
It tastes so.
Smells good.
Yay.
Yeah.
I always go and make it after class because I'm too busy typing. So I'm looking forward to making it myself.
It's absolutely beautiful.
First taste.
He's loving it.
Amen, Stephen. So good.
I know your mom made
Oh, I see plating happening with Brenda. See all that really good steam? Thumbs up. So this is a really good weeknight meal. It's also a great side. It could also just be like a game day if you're eating nachos. It's very, very, oh, yummy, nice. It's very functional and easy to, I think pretty easy to make. You let me know. You're really just combining flavors and combining ingredients. We're really just making sure we paid respect to those who came before us. And so the natives were definitely farmers and they knew how to grow on the land and they respected them, made sure that things work together. So I know you guys are outdoorsy folks at Elevate Boston, and so they respected the land to make sure that we have it now to hike and climb and walk and do all the things we do. So I love this the ingredients here for that reason. So Three Sisters, squash, corn, and beans live happily ever after in my mouth. I'm gonna hand back over to Alec and team. Unless there are any more questions or anyone who wants to show their dish. But you guys, as usual, you're amazing. For those who are new, welcome. I can't wait to keep seeing you here.
Let's give a round of applause for Chef Tamika.
Thank you.
And most importantly, a round of
Underneath
applause
the camera.
for Michelle.
This is our dish.
Ooh, with salmon over there.
Great work.
And
This is
Brenda,
our
that
dish.
looks amazing and steamy. Alec, I know I handed back over to you, but I see dishes coming out.
This is our dish.
Oh, with the salmon. That looks delicious.
Yeah. I see Anderson plated theirs. I see Brenda plated theirs. I see, is it Genji working still? I'm so sorry if I'm butchering your names. I really just want to see. Lisa, I see you guys
We already finished.
picking things up and deliciously eating it.
You're muted, Liza.
Liza, sorry.
What happened? Hi.
It looked like you were asking a question, but you were muted.
Oh, well, because somebody muted me, but I just she was saying put it on some chips, but I feel like the squash pieces are just too big. Are they too? Did anybody else make them that big, or do they make smaller?
If they're looking too big, like you're too big for bite size, you can put them on a cutting board and cut them, or you can just extend your cooking time. So make it for longer.
Yeah, I'll be working on it for a little while. But it smells really good.
Yeah, and maybe just cover them and let them sit for a while on their own.
I lost you. Cover it in what?
Just cover it on low heat with some water or some stock and let it sit for a while. They will eventually cook.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we're gonna work on it.
Great. Don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anderson. Sounds like you weren't sure. You're like, it's actually pretty good. You made it.
Well,
I'm gonna have Alec answer the question about are we done? Great plating, guys. It was so good to work with you as always. And if those who are still working, it's not a competition, at your own pace. Those who are eating, enjoy. If you have pictures, I'd love to see them.
yes, excellent work, everyone. Amazing dishes there, and we would love to see those pictures as well. Feel free to do the post-class survey so we can learn more about what you liked and what you want to do in the future. Our next EAT cooking class will be December 2nd, I believe. So that's a Thursday again. So we're super excited for that. In the meantime, we hope to see you either in our after school programming or one of our rock climbing outings coming up. And most importantly, go enjoy your meal.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing the pictures. Enjoy dinner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Parents,
It's so
bye.
good.
See you. Thank you.
Thanks for
Housewash
coming,
dishes, okay,
everybody.
guys?
Thanks, Tamika.